start recording. Make sure we're recording. We forgot to last week. I forgot to.
Did it not make YouTube?
It did make it to YouTube. It was late because what I ended up having to do was, and we are live. Anyway, what I ended up having to do was to play the show again through the studio processor, and I just recorded it because I can record video. So that's what I did. Anyway,
wow, you're tech savvy.
I know. And you know what? I got that way from just this.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not taking any computer classes, anything like that. And
learn by necessity.
What is going on? I really wanted to find our shirt.
Our shirt?
Yeah, the shirt that we had made, the AlfromDtown podcast.
I have one, yeah.
Our buddy Lou did those.
Yes.
And man, Lou's going through a rough time, and we just want to tell him we love him. Thank you so much, Lou, for always being a supporter of ours. And man, we love you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it is Al from D-Town and Chili442 Show. Show
146.
146. Evan is right. I am sharing this to my page real quick, and then we'll get started. Man, what a day. I took out and got to play with a whole dash.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, pulling the dash out of a car, it might be one of the funnest things you could ever do as a human.
It's one of the most technically intricate parts of an automobile. The stuff that's going on in the dashboard these days. Yeah.
And we are gone. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to it. I mean, and then you're wondering, oh man, I hope I plugged everything in.
Mm-hmm.
I have had to take things on. Today it wasn't bad, but I did. I had to go backwards.
Sometimes you have to. We've got that Pacer project, and I took the dash out of that like 6 years ago.
Are you kidding?
So that's going to be a fun day when I finally go to put that thing back in. All I remember is drop the steering column down and come in through from the passenger side and just work it into place. But that's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, and that's a 40-year-old car. It's nothing like today. But yeah, hats off to you for working on new stuff, contorting around underneath the dash and just, like I said, all the stuff that's going on, your heating and air conditioning and everything else. And man, there's a lot up in there. A lot of electronics and harnesses, big harnesses.
Yeah. Well, mine was they put a little actuator motor to flip from, your floor to like your mid to like your defrost. And they put this thing in the worst possible place. I had to pull a dash for a little part that took 3 screws.
Lovely.
Yeah, it was. But, I mean, you know what? Dude, when I'm into those cars, I'm in my happy place. Nothing around me matters. Nothing that's going on in the world matters. It's me and that machine.
That's cool if you can block it out and focus on it.
Dude, I love it. It gives me the opportunity to do that. So
it's just that frustrating thing when you've got to pull something back apart and you lose, an hour or two on a job, and it's like, oh man, I could have made some money on that. Now I just kind of broke even.
Yeah. Now I screwed myself.
Yeah, they'll have you cussing.
Yeah. And I'm still learning. And I'll continue to learn till the day I, get put in a box.
Trying to think what my friends put on Facebook the other day. He's restoring another car. Having a project car is like having an erection and a migraine at the same time. It's like this is great, but this is torture also. Why do we love doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, the things that we find that we say is work. Some to us it's not. It's just some it is, but sometimes it's fun. Work can be fun.
Yeah, and dude, I really want to find a project car. I thought I had a 71 Camaro. I thought I talked this dude down, and he was like, "Oh, he wanted 22. At first, it went for 3, and then it was marked down to 22. And I was like, "Man, would you take 15?"
Oh boy.
And he was like, "Let me call you back." And we texted, kind of went. To me, I think he kind of kept me on hold, and some dude from Missouri came and bought it and gave him $1,750. I was like, "Well, I didn't know we were bidding." Shit, yeah. I mean, that was that was bottom dollar I threw out.
Yeah.
I wanted it too. It was a split bumper.
Those are cool.
Oh man, and I mean, it had a little surface rust, but I didn't see the car in person, but the pictures I saw and I zoomed in real good. It kind of had a little Bondo on the trunk area, which I think a lot of those Camaros kind of, them trunks, they seem that was the first part to start rusting on those.
Anything 50 years old like that, it's a good chance it's full of mud.
Yeah. So.
And that Cutlass we have, it's red, it's shiny, but I know there's a lot of hidden stuff underneath there. I see little waves in places, and I've never really taken a magnet to it, but it's a Midwest car. It's originally from Michigan, and I could just tell there's a lot of, there's some little bubbles that have started, but the paint is old. If it hadn't got bad by now, it's like, let it go,
Yeah.
If you're neurotic like me, the last thing you need is a car with a perfect paint job, and I already have one of those, and I don't ever want another one.
Right.
It takes the fun out of it. There's something to be said for really shiny mirror paint job.
Yeah.
But when you worry about every rock chip and every person and door ding all the time, it does take its fun out of it.
Yeah. And if you watch them, I mean, Evan has taken me to a couple big car shows, like the kind you see on TV and shit. And if you watch them people, it's like, okay, they'll go for a little ride around the fairground or whatever, and then they come back and they got spray bottles and towels, and they're wiping down every fucking piece of this thing. They're opening the engine. It was like, well, that don't look fun at all.
No, I never do that. I've seen people do that. I'm like, man, wash your car, do your wax thing the week before, go to the car show, hang out with your friends, go around and look at stuff. I've seen people just make rounds, and I almost get dizzy watching them go round and round their car, just dusting and the Windex and the detailer and stuff. Man, put it away.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I love it. Honestly, I want to find a Volkswagen that needs some work, so I can just kind of redo it and maybe do it from the flow up.
Like an old Bug.
It wouldn't even have to be that old, dude. I tell you what, there's one that's got my eye, and she needs to be sold, because if I keep looking at her, I'm gonna end up buying this damn car, and I don't need it.
I'd like to have a Bug, but I don't need another project.
Yeah. If I got one, I'd love to have an old school, and they were junk, I know, and they don't have shit for power, but the old Volkswagen, the buses.
Oh, those are high dollar these days. Those have
Mm-hmm.
gone to a collector status. You don't see that many buses around, and when they do
No.
go, they go for some good money.
Oh, and if you get that one with all them windows on it,
Oh yeah, 23 window. Those are
yeah.
very desirable.
Ooh,
And there's places where those are just stockpiled, but
I
they
know.
if you let them out in the wild, the price will drop. But
Yeah.
they're really desirable because I we're the last generation. Do you remember being on the highway and passing like hippie buses,
Oh.
deadheads?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember because my sisters live up Chicago area, and they were older. We'd jet up and down, so I remember that. And some of those buses out there, they had to have million miles on them. They were easy to refurbish those engines, and they're tough as nails, and they just go and go, and they're simple. They're air cooled. You got one belt, an alternator. I mean,
Yeah.
they're dead simple, and they even have competitions for those. If you go on like YouTube, where how fast guys can get the engines out of a Volkswagen Bug, like actually pull the thing completely out, the whole engine, transaxle, everything, and put it back in and get in the car and drive it off, and it's like 2 minutes.
Oh damn.
These competitions, they have everything down. I mean, it's like a crew of dudes, and they can. There's 4 bolts that drop your engine out, and you undo your throttle cable and your electrical connection, and you just lift the back of the car up and roll the engine out of it.
Man.
They're really neat to work on. They're really cool
Hey,
cars.
I bet you my crew that I work with, I bet you we could do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody's got their stuff, and you know
Uh-huh.
how to do it and hit these bolts and do this. But like I said, those competitions, it's a matter of minutes where they have the engine out and then back in and drive off. It's pretty cool.
Now, Evan, me and you, we've known each other for a while. We were actually neighbors.
Yeah, for
And
15 years.
yeah. So these are 8 things your neighbors can legally do to make your life difficult. Now, on the other side of this, these are also 8 things you can do to your neighbors legally to make their lives difficult. If you want to do
Y-
that, hey, we do not recommend making enemies with your neighbor. That's always a bad deal.
No,
Make
no. One of
friends
my
with.
neighbors is really nice, and the other one's an ex-cop. So I really don't want to mess with either one.
Yeah. Well, here's
And
a.
and the one who had the barking ass dog, that dog passed away last year. So
Oh.
that was a lot of relief around here.
Oh man. Eight
I'm
things.
sorry. It's just, man,
8 things.
it was one of those things.
I know. 8 things your neighbors can legally do to make your life more difficult. Number 1, excessive noise within legal hours.
Mm-hmm. They can. Guess you got to live with it.
Yeah. The next one, trees and shrubs overhanging your property. Now, I think that kind of depends on the state because I think here in Illinois, you can, if it's on, you know,
On your property.
yeah, if it's like climbing over a fence or something, you can pretty much.
I've never had a major issue with that.
Next one, building to the edge of the property line.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought that was illegal.
yeah, man, I tell you what. And we had a lady that we put that little fence up in the back for Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And that crazy lady that lived in that brick house.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came over there with a ruler, and the guy was like, look, and I even told him, I said, look, she's going to be a pain in the ass. And he got it surveyed before he even dug anything. So because I told him, I said, Jay, just protect your ass, man. And she sat out there and watched him put up that fence.
Yeah, not
I was like,
surprised.
lady, I'm not trying to steal 2 inches of your land.
It's funny.
The
Yep.
Next one on 8 things your neighbors can legally do to make your life more difficult. They can bright lights pointing towards your property. It's kind of that's kind of an asshole move.
Man, the people diagonally across from us, and our houses are kind of set back just a little bit, but they have on their driveway a double floodlight. And they're both like aimed right at our house, you know. And it's on all the time. Like, you know, like they go to bed at night and they forget and leave it on, but I look over there all the time, and I just hate. I look across the street. I'd like to see, you know, the neighbor's house, but all I see is these lights just blasting back at me, you know. And that's all you see, and it drives me nuts. And Vicky, she laughs at all the time because I'm always like, neighbors, turn off your freaking light. You know, why is these? Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. That's why we do these lists, Evan. Oh, this one, legally operating a business from home.
Oh, the traffic, yeah.
That can be annoying. Yeah, I used to sell marijuana. No.
Street pharmaceuticals, I think is.
Oh, okay. I used to sell street pharmaceuticals. That was over 25 years ago, by the way. If the feds are listening.
Yeah.
I don't think we got to worry about that.
No.
I did have a guy that owned a what was it? Oh God, what do you call that? Lawn care business. And he had the big mowers and everything. And man, every time I'd come home, he'd have my damn driveway blocked. And that was so fucking annoying to have to get out, go up to his door, say, "Hey man, I want to park in my fucking driveway."
Yeah, no.
The next one on the list, using surveillance cameras that overlook your property. Boy, that's weird.
How so?
If you're sitting there and you got surveillance cameras on your neighbor's house.
Or if they got them on yours, yeah. There's just getting to be cameras everywhere these days.
Oh, I tell you, you put a camera on my house and I find out I am doing some buck wild shit. I'm gonna like pogo stick naked and stuff like that.
I'm sure you have a neighbor that's got a camera pointed at your backyard or something.
Oh, don't let me find out. Don't let me
you'll be out there peeing in the yard all the time.
Yeah, I pee in the backyard quite a bit. Still, it's colder than shit. And sometimes if I'm out in the garage, though, I ain't trying to walk all the way in.
It's called being a man. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Smoking on their property. Well, smoke from neighbor's property can drift into your own, carrying smell. Oh, fuck that. Don't go outside then when somebody's smoking.
I burn boxes and tree stuff, and so does my neighbor. And, hey, we all deal with it. Sorry. If I'm going to burn anything bad, I burn it at night, though, because there's no black smoke at night, if you need to,
Now, this one, I've never had this issue with anybody. My brother has. And I'll tell you a story here in a second. But parking in front of your house, that is kind of annoying if that's your only place to park.
Mm-hmm.
Which it is for my brother. Unfortunately, 2 nights a week, there's a big church catty corner from him, and he will cuss these church people out. They're carrying Bibles and shit, and he's like, "Hey, motherfucker, I live here. You don't. I pay rent, blah, blah." One day, dude, I had to walk away. I was like, oh, my God. He's going to get in a fight with some dude carrying a Bible.
Yeah. Not cool.
No. Displaying flags, banners, or signs. Hey, fuck you. Because every house that I have lived at has had an American flag. And every house that I ever will live in, I will put an American flag. Now, one thing I've never put in my yard or anything is a political sign.
Yeah.
Never,
Pointless.
never once.
Yeah.
The closest I came to it was your aunt had something going on where they were showing houses and they put flags, and she asked if she could put a little sign there.
Mm-hmm.
And I let her because it was, that's your people's.
Yeah.
So that
I'm with you.
anything else though, nah. Yeah, I don't like seeing all them political signs. Who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm. It's not going to sway a voter.
This one of 8 things your neighbors can legally do to make your life difficult. Now, see, I would do this one. Choosing exterior paint colors. Yeah, can I have butthole brown, please?
Yeah, that can hurt the value of the neighborhood a little bit if somebody got stupid.
Dude, and I don't know if our listeners know, but there are certain neighborhoods that you have to have the HOA approve your paint sample before you can paint.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna let you do a lemon yellow or a hot pink or something. I don't know.
Right. And I think it said 8, but there's a lot more than 8 things on there. It says 16. Not maintaining their lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
Just trash everywhere.
Man.
That sucks.
And you don't know how much that curb appeal makes the rest of your house look. Because you could have a beautiful house. And, if your yard's all fucked up, ain't nobody gonna, look at your stuff. Hosting frequent parties. Oh, man. Oops. Oops.
We had big parties. I would say they were frequent, but when we did, we got it done.
Yeah, well, you were always invited, so you never complained.
Right.
And
it was a cool street.
You know what? We always took food to the neighbors, too.
Mm-hmm.
Allowing pets to roam. Yeah, you can't do that, man. Too many.
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
People get really upset about a turd in their yard and all kinds of stuff,
There's 2 more on the list, Evan. Installing wind chimes or other decorations.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that all the time.
I got a set of wind chimes out there that kind of go. They mostly go when Tanner gets wrapped around them. Because right now they're kind of at a low place.
You just never hear anyone say, I just like to sit on my porch and listen to the soothing tones of the wind chime. It just,
They are kind of annoying as fuck.
I think so. It's never been my thing. It's one of those things that gets regifted and ends up in a dirty Santa gift,
Right. Next one on the list, and the last one of 16 things. It says 8, but there's actually 16 things. Nice. Dumbasses. Who wrote this? They couldn't even. Andy Ford. Andy.
He's a math major.
Yeah. Anyway, last thing is feeding wildlife. Fuck that. I love feeding birds. I get the prettiest cardinals and shit around here, man.
I feed squirrels and chipmunks.
Yeah.
And birds also because they eat peanuts. I take them away.
Now I will tell you, we'll probably do a couple lists because I actually went and I looked at our new site and it hasn't refreshed since the 6th. Have we done a show? Yeah. What's the date?
13th.
So yeah, all these we did last week, and even our buddy at BozoCriminal.com Yeah, January 6th. So we really don't have any stupid stories. I know we can talk about Evan, you want to talk about TikTok.
Oh, if you want to. It's just kind of interesting thing going on right now.
Now, I don't understand what's going on. I'm not a big TikToker.
Well, they're supposed to vote on it like I think the 19th or the 20th. And there's been a politician, I don't know who, but he's made it um, whatever they call it, not amendment, but to give them an extension on this, like 190 days or something like this to sort it out. I mean, the whole TikTok thing, it's a big game. I mean, they're trying to say this is an invasive program and it's taking your data and everything like that. Well, it's I don't believe it's any more invasive than anything else. It's just
Yeah, I mean the fucking phone you have has damn near all your information in there.
yeah, and can record keystrokes or do anything than anything else. So all that that doesn't concern me. The politicians, I most feel that they don't like it, that people are getting information out. You can go and you can search something that's happening and you can see videos from people that are on the scene, or that it's harder for politicians to bullshit you when we can see what's actually happening.
But you're starting to see and I don't know, and I think I kind of brought this up, but like with Facebook now, you're seeing that they're getting rid of the fact checkers, and like X did the same. But
yeah, Zuckerberg's trying to kiss some ass.
Yeah, he kissed the ring, but for sure, there's something to that. I do, I China, we got to watch China. China is not. They are not a friendly group of people to the United States. I know some of their people love us and everything, but the government itself does not.
Yeah, correct. So anyway, there is this Chinese TikTok that has, it's gone to it's number one now on all the media apps. Like when you go and search up your apps, it's number one, and everybody jumped on last night. It became like the thing. Hey, look at this. This is where everything's going. So now the Chinese wake up and they're like, "Well, there's Americans everywhere." And so this is going to be entertaining to see how this plays out. But
is the American TikTok still going?
For right now, yes, it is. And,
okay.
But I don't know by the end of the week. I mean, a lot of there's people freaking out because there are people that make a lot of money on there, of course.
Yeah.
But there's the people that have their stores, and that's also taken away from Zuckerberg with all these people buying things off TikTok stores, and he's losing advertisers. I don't get advertising on my Facebook. Well, rarely, because I told you how I thump them all down. But lately, I've been getting all these crazy like page suggestions. It brings up everything, follow this person, or whatever. And I'm like, no. People you may, like Kathy Griffin. No. No, I'm knocking these down. I'm like, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
I'm getting spammed with all these pages. Is it because there's no more advertisers or what? I don't know, but no, he has not lost all his advertisers. But I think Zuckerberg's feeling a little something. It's all of a sudden with him moving into action lately. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, he had to once he admitted, and once those emails got released of, them suppressing COVID stories and the lab leak story. And as far as and I hate to get political, but the Hunter Biden laptop that we were told was fake. And it's not just social media that took that bait. It's the mainstream media. Man, they've taken hard hits as far as their like viewing people. And I love it. I love that people aren't watching MSNBC or even ABC News. And I don't know if a lot of people know, but ABC just paid a big old payment to the guy that's getting ready to be the president.
Yeah, people are waking up that your mainstream news is it's scripted propaganda. I mean, it has been for years. There's nothing new. I mean,
And I think we've talked about that video before, but if you think, oh, these guys are just being conspiracy theorists, go and look at the video of all the newscasts
simultaneously giving the same speech.
given the same speech about I don't remember what it was for, like freedom of speech or something, and make sure you're getting the right news, and telling you, hey, be careful of all the stuff you read on the internet.
Yeah, it's all whatever the Sinclair, the group that owns like a lot of your news agencies and your AP and all that jazz. And
well, that's what I think people started putting together too. They started looking at who owns these news companies and then who supports them. And it's a lot of them are these big pharmaceutical companies. If you watch any news station, just look at the commercials. They're almost all medicine. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, your pharmaceutical. I mean, we've watched the lobbying power, the power of the pharmaceutical companies the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Say no more. Yeah. It's not good.
No.
It's scripted, and people are waking up to the propaganda. The problem is where do you get this information? And then you go to Facebook and there's people just spouting everything, and there's still their bots. I see their bots all the time.
Oh,
I love it when I go through and I'm looking through the comments and I see two people write the exact same paragraph.
Yeah.
Word for word, punctuation for punctuation. I'm like, what is happening that all of a sudden these two posts are duplicating under different names? And and I just like, okay, we're not going to comment. We're not going to waste our time with this. Facebook is digging its own grave. I mean, we're on this platform right now, and we're slamming it, and we're using it, but
yeah, and I mean,
this is interesting times. It's like the big shakeup of social media right now, and I'm like, okay, people are not gonna walk away from social media.
No.
So what is going to happen?
Right.
Because with this shakeup right now.
And when are we going to get another platform like Stickum? It's got to come for the podcast now. I mean, God,
it's the licensing that's a problem.
I know.
Music licensing, that's lawyers have taken care of everything.
I know, but there ought to be. There needs to be a clause or something, because if you're doing it for entertainment purposes like we did with D-Town Radio, if you're doing that for entertainment purposes, and we actually looked to get a license, and for like 3 months it was $110,000, and they still had I think it was almost 150,000 songs that we could not play. There was certain albums that could not be played, that you had to get different, and especially the new music. You had to pay for every time you played the song. So it was
it's hard to do these days.
And we weren't making any money with D-Town, so where in the shit was I going to get $110,000?
No kidding.
To do a free internet radio station.
I heard just this week a bar in Bloomington got busted for playing whatever, like uncopyrighted music or whatever. I don't know if they weren't paying their royalties to whatever service. I don't know how that works these days, because like those jukeboxes, it's all electronic and it records everything that's being played, and so
they probably brought in their own music is what I'm guessing, and they had one of them jukeboxes and wasn't paying the bill. That's the only way you can get caught on something like that.
I guess, but I've never heard of a bar ever getting busted for that.
Yeah, that's
You know,
whew.
and like videotapes, DVDs. You're not supposed to be able to. If you buy one of those, it's for watching in your home, not for business or anything like that. And
Yeah, you can't.
I should say this, but man, my cousins used to like Sunday night was movie nights at the bar, and
Yeah,
it's like, man, if a lawyer walked in, one of the publishing lawyers walked in, he was like, "Oh, you boys are busted." But I've just never heard of a bar being busted for but not paying their royalties or for playing unlicensed music or whatever. So
right.
they must obviously monitor that.
Now, I never did movies. I did concerts on. I always got up and did the Sunday morning shindig, and then I'd play concerts until whoever came on at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And but when I was with Rocktown Radio, Wolf actually had a movie night and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I mean, you couldn't get away with none of that shit now.
No,
None of it.
like I said, lawyers have taken care of everything.
Yeah, they have.
Pay the service fee. Pay the service fee.
I know, and it just sucks, man, because that was a good community. You actually built, like that was almost like family. When you got
Yeah.
home from work or whatever, and some people didn't work and stayed in that sumbitch all day.
Yeah, there's some shut-ins that were living on there, but yeah, it was people coming together for their love of music and to hang out, and it did turn into kind of a little. We saw somebody move all the way across country to get married to somebody else, and
Yeah,
as far as we know, they lived happily ever
yeah.
after.
I think they're
Saw
still
some
together.
interesting stuff.
Yeah.
That wow, these people that hooked up on these
I know.
these
I know.
radio chat shows.
But I mean, it was cool. It was like there was a chat room in there, and then I'd get up like at 4 in the morning to go haul garbage or whatever. And I just, I had DJ Auto, which was our automatic, just, it just shit. I still got that too. I think it's laying around here. This thing has got so many it's got 1,000,000 songs on it. If not 1,000,005.
Wow.
But I mean, I'd put that on shuffle, and I could go on vacation. But we we had a lot of DJs from like even overseas. We had D Virus that would go live, and it'd be like 2 in the morning there, and she's just getting up, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it'd be
It
cool.
was an interesting thing back then.
Yeah, it sure was. So yeah, I'd like to see that with podcasts, because I'd love to have our own we were gonna do it with the AlfromDtown.com, but I'm not gonna lie, Facebook gives us a little bit better platform because people ain't gonna remember. Oh, I got to go to AlfromDtown.com today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought about putting this on X too, and I'm gonna look into that.
I know nothing about it.
I do not. I don't either. I just barely get through Facebook.
I've
It's
just
easy.
tried to avoid. I've tried to avoid just having all these multiple social media accounts, and so I've had Facebook, and then I got on TikTok, and I like it, but I haven't got on Instagram or X or no, I guess Twitter is no longer. What is it? It's
X.
It's X. It's X. Okay. And what else is there? I have a MeWe account, but I haven't got on that in probably a year. It's dead. Yeah.
Anyway,
it'll be the next new hot one. We'll find out.
Speaking of America, Evan, these are 17 things Europeans believed were true about America before they came here.
Okay.
Number 1 on the list, America is unsafe. Well, that depends on where you go. You go to the south side of Chicago, we ain't going to guarantee your safety. You go to Providence, Rhode Island, yeah, you're going to be all right.
There's places in every country where if you ended up
Right.
in that area, you would be unsafe.
Yeah.
There's
Don't drop them off in South Central California.
yeah, yeah. East St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God. That would be so mean.
But yeah, like I'm sure every country there's ghettos, there's places that you don't
Oh,
want to
for
be after dark and all that
sure.
stuff. So yeah, but is this place really dangerous? I don't know. That's a good question. It's not getting safer.
Uh, I started with the last one, and I apologize for that. Everyone carries a gun.
They
No.
do think we're all gun toting. Like yeah, everybody's just Yosemite Sam, just gun toting. No, that's not us.
Hey, I want more good people to carry guns, though. I'm tired of it being all the bad guys and just the cops.
And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of guns in this country.
Yeah, a lot.
There's a
Um,
lot of guns.
and I'm okay with that, man, because you know why? That keeps other countries from coming over and fucking with us. Because look, you don't have to just worry about our fucking military. Nah, because if you do happen to beat the military, we got Alabama. We just call the rednecks from Alabama. They're gonna come in some F-150s, and they're
Yeah,
gonna light shit up.
yep. There's a lot of people, a lot of forces that are aware of the firepower of the United States people.
Another one on the list for 17 things Europeans believed before they came over: fast food dominates all meals.
Man, a lot of people it sure does.
It
I think.
does. It does. That's a sad truth.
Well, they said that 1/3 of all meals is eaten in a vehicle. I mean, think about that. If you told people that in another country, I mean, the French are like, "What? We're going to go home for 2 hours and we're going to have a tablecloth and a glass of wine and then we're going to take a nap." You know,
Yeah,
like,
they
no,
get
I ate my lunch in
naps.
my car so I could get back to work.
Yeah, I so need to go to Europe because I am all about that work nap. I am, dude.
But
Uh,
yeah, think how many people have their breakfast in their car in the morning, or they, have their lunch in their car, or occasionally dinner in their car. But to think a third of all meals are in the vehicle, that's kind of sad.
Americans are always friendly. You know what? I think Americans are more friendly than a lot of foreign people
Hmm.
are to Americans.
Yes.
But it does give an example, Evan. It says, for example, many people say that people in New York usually keep themselves on the subway and won't attempt to start a conversation with a stranger. That's a big city. A big city vibe, you kind of, yeah. But if you're out having dinner out in the country at a diner or something, you're going to get probably talked to more than you want. You're
Talking to someone on a subway, if you rode the subway a lot, and there's a lot of mentally ill people out there, and you strike up a conversation with a mentally ill person, and you can't get out of,
yeah.
then that's when you stop striking up conversations with other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. You're right there too.
You're like, I learned my lesson last time. Just look at your book, look at your phone.
I can I read people. I do. I'm a real good judge of reading people. And I usually know when to just shut up and when to start a conversation. And I tell you what, I was waiting at Kohl's. It was a few weeks ago, and I started talking to the lady in front of me, and I had the most pleasant conversation with this old lady, and we sat there at the door and talked another like 5 or 10 minutes. I was like, Grandma, I gotta go. Anyway,
That's awesome.
next on the list is 17 things Europeans believe about America. The U.S. is all skyscrapers and bustling cities.
Oh no.
No, it's not. And I tell you what, there's so much beauty. And even, look, I'm going to tell you something. If you were going to St. Louis, Indiana, we live here in the Midwest, so that's why I'm mentioning these towns that are 5-6 hours away. Make it an 8-hour trip and take your GPS and put avoid highways. The shit you will see, it's amazing. I was supposed to make it to Columbus, Ohio in 6 hours, and I took the long way, and it took me 8.5 hours, and luckily I got to go in the fall, so I got to see all the trees changing and shit like that, and man, that was like one of the best things. When I die, that'll be something I remember, is that drive.
Your road trip to Ohio.
Yeah. Because just the beauty and all the small towns and shit like that. But that's what I'm into. I don't care if I ever see a big city again. It sucks because my schooling is smack dab in the middle of Chicago. But yeah, it's going to suck.
Yeah, I'm not into the big city. But it's funny that someone from another country would think that we're just all city, because we do have so much open space, but you think of like Japan, highly populated country for its size.
Right.
It does have some big cities, but it's got tons of wide open places. I mean, it's not just complete, like the whole place is completely packed, you know. Every country's got its spaces.
This one, look, you might not like my take on this, and that's okay. We're all entitled to our own opinions, but Americans only speak English. I think we should. I mean, to understand each other. You know, I'm sorry. If some guy comes up to me and starts talking Czechoslovakian, I am not going to understand him, and he's going to think I'm rude. But it's like, hey, dude, yeah.
We can't be expected to know every language.
No. And if I learn Spanish, then what next? I got to learn Korean? No, I'm 52 years, getting ready to turn 52 years old.
Well, good thing you don't have to deal with too many Korean people.
Hey, no, I think we're going to blow up in South Korea one day, Evan.
You think so?
I'm hoping. Everything's bigger in America.
Cars, roads.
It is. You know. Oh, damn, Evan, you'll find larger food portions and bigger cars. You called that one.
I think it probably is weird for them to engineer cars for us. When you grow up with everything, you know, small cars in Europe and everything, but we're designing this for American market. We make this thing huge. That's got to be strange for them, but you know, look at slowly over time, like your Toyota. They make some big trucks these days. They're coming along, but it's taking them a while.
Yeah, the Toyota Tundra, man. There's what is it? The 1786 or 1706 or something like that. They got a model at the place I work, and man, it's a beautiful truck. I'm like,
big beast.
Yeah, it is. It's always sunny in California. Oh,
isn't it?
Well, they say it never rains in Southern California.
Yeah, I always thought it was pretty. They had great weather, most of it. I mean, it's quite a long state. They've got up at the northern part. It's almost a different state way up there.
Americans are overly patriotic. No, look, man, we're proud of our country. I am, because I don't care what anybody says. We are the most diverse country in the world. That is guaranteed 100% true. You cannot go to one country and see so many races not only living together, sometimes in the same community. We interact, we do everything. No, that's what pisses me off, like during elections when I hear how racist and shit America is. No, the fuck we ain't. We're the melting pot for a reason. Is there some bad apples? Sure. But the majority of us, man, we're working together every day. We're getting along. Ain't nobody worried about that shit.
Racism still exists.
True.
It's getting better. I feel, I hope, as we all go, we all grow up, we mature and everything, and we learn and we live. But it's to be expected, and it's not like this is the only place. Like I was telling you about Japan, and
Oh man,
they won't even serve you. You walk in and you're not part of their culture. They have no problem telling you, no,
yeah,
we're not serving you. They're mostly friendly, but yeah, that exists all over.
right,
All over the world.
yeah. Unfortunately, because we're all on this stupid ass rock hurling through space right now. We could hit another rock and it'd just be over.
I just don't think we'll ever get over it 100%.
No, we can't. No, we can't because there's people that make a living off of it.
No, true, but there's people that are
ignorant,
brainwashed.
Yeah, no, it's ignorance. It's not
raised properly.
Well, you can't say brainwashed because to me, the people that sit there and watch all this liberal news and even the conservative people that watch just nothing but Fox News, those people are brainwashed.
I mean, people that are more brainwashed by their parents growing up.
Oh, yeah, like born into hatred and shit like that. Yeah.
Hate breeding hate is more of what I meant.
And I think you're right. I think we are coming out of that more and more. And I know, and here's the thing, me and Evan are from Decatur, so it's a little different because it was mixed. I never went to an all white school.
I had somebody, it might have been Vicky. I was flipping through one of my yearbooks, and she was just like, "Oh my gosh, your school is like you had a lot of black students."
Yeah, we were
from Decatur. It was 30% black.
Yeah,
our school was 30% black. Where a lot of white kids that they might have one or two black kids in their school. That was my school. I never thought a whole lot about it.
Yeah. Here's another thing Europeans think. And see, I think this more about Europeans than they think about us. Sports are a universal obsession. Now, you do have your diehard sports fans. Look, I watch a little football during the playoffs. I'm not going to lie. I watched football yesterday. There's a football game going on now.
Some Europeans go crazy over
there. Man, they burn down their motherfucking cities if their soccer team loses.
I've seen them chase referees off the field like they're going to kill the referee.
So, I can't give a lot of details in this story, but I was told by the guy himself that he was overseas on a trip, and they went out to eat, and when they came out of the restaurant, there was when they went in, it was the normal kind of busy hustle and bustle of a small, European town, and when they came out, there's tanks and all these officers on horseback and shit, and he's like, "What's going on?" And he goes, "Well, they're afraid the home team's going to lose. There's a soccer game down the road, and they advise them to hurry up and get to their hotel." Needless to say, the soccer team lost, and they fucking started a riot.
Oh, that's just dumb.
And
just sports riots.
Look, we get it in here into the U.S. too, and I've never understood it, dude. I've never understood it.
And most of your sports are...
I'm not going to get
say fixed, but I think a lot of them are all fixed. It's rigged, and people flipping out. It's just a game,
Oh
and
my!
it's being played by people you do not know.
I really hope they don't believe this. 17 things Europeans believe that about America until they visit. New York represents all of America. Not even fucking close.
No,
New York's has become a shithole.
I have no desire to go there ever.
Ever. Everyone works in technology or finance. Well, that's just dumb. Who you think picks up the garbage? You think it picks it up?
Funny.
This one, health food is hard to find. It's not hard to find. It's expensive. Do you know how expensive it is to eat healthy?
Oh, it's crazy. And
It's
you can go
fucking
down
stupid.
you can go down the aisle, some of the snack aisles in your grocery store, and you could look down that whole aisle, and they're like, there is not a single thing I really should eat. That's that's healthy. And a whole aisle sometimes in a grocery store. That's sad.
Oh.
And yeah, our food is there's so much stuff that we have that's banned in other countries.
Yeah. Like dyes and stuff like that. Like, I think it's that red dye. That's
red dye and a lot of stuff. Some things, like there used to be that brominated vegetable oil. It's like a flame retardant, but it was in Gatorade and stuff. It was kind of dispersant to keep things from settling, and they took some of that out. But yeah, there's a lot of things in our food. And man, what the one I ran across the other day, and I had to go to the freezer and look because we had some Breyers ice cream. Breyers, they've got identical little containers. One may say ice cream. The other says frozen dairy dessert.
Oh.
Because by law, ice cream it's what, sugar, milk, cream.
Yeah.
But anyway, that frozen dairy, you flip it over, made with the ingredients, it says skim in the order, that they get skim milk, high fructose corn syrup, fructose, which is high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's skim milk and corn syrup.
Wow.
Anyway, it does not say ice cream on it. I'm like, interesting. It's those little things that change over time. You don't notice, but that's why we're always like, this doesn't taste like it used to. Steaks don't taste the way they used to. Chicken doesn't taste the way it used to.
No. One of the biggest disappointments, I think, in life, growing up to be 52 years old, is to see the way McDonald's has went downhill. McDonald's,
people complain all the time.
Dude, it used to be like one of the staples. And now it's like, I haven't been since I sit there and I don't know. I've got anger issues, man, because I get mad at a motherfucking restaurant and I just won't go back. There's too many. Look, but here's what. Let me tell you what happened. All right, and you tell me if you would have been mad. I sit there and I wait. There's 2 drives at a McDonald's drive-through now since they did that stupid second lane. They had to make that to make it quick. All right. Well, this girl, there's a lane on the outside. I'm on the outside. She takes like 6 cars. And I'm like, hello. Hey. Finally, the 6th car pulls off, and I'm pissed. I pull off. I pull up to a window. I said, hey, you got two lines out there. And she's like, well, why are you yelling at me? And I'm like, well, because you're stupid and you work at fucking McDonald's and can't figure it out. So I haven't been back.
No. To me, it's the quality of the food.
It sucks.
Video yesterday, and this guy's like, man, I went to McDonald's. He's a kid in his 20s. And he's like, I can't finish this. This is nasty.
Oh, it's horrible.
This is, and going to the comments, all the people like, I can't eat. I have not had a McDonald's burger and like in years. I've just never been a fan of McDonald's unless like breakfast stuff, yeah, I would do their breakfast stuff, road tripping or whatever. Sometimes on the
Yeah,
way to work, I
sometimes you
would,
got
but I
to.
don't eat their burgers and fries typically, maybe, a dozen times in the last 20, 30 years, really.
Right.
But I just remember in high school getting like a quarter pounder with cheese and then I'll like eating it. And then my stomach was just like, ugh, just like,
Right.
why do I feel this? Just blah. And after that, I've just never been a big fan. I mean, I would eat other fast food, but I usually avoid McDonald's.
Yeah. I
And the
do
one
too.
here in Chillicothe, the people complain about on media so much that somebody came in corporate finally took it over or brought somebody in.
Yeah.
I
Eh,
don't know if it's a franchise, but I think if you don't run it to a level, they will step in
yeah,
and
they
take.
can, well, they can strip you.
Yeah,
They can
and they
strip you.
finally did because it
Yeah.
was so bad. The service people talking about
Well,
and
shit, look,
showing pictures of what they're getting.
look, man, Decatur, I think, might be the only one. They built a new McDonald's and tore it down within like 2 years. That one on 22nd.
Those McDonald's don't look as friendly as they used to back.
No, they don't, man. They don't. Anyway, Evan, why don't you tell these beautiful people goodbye? We've already wasted over an hour of their time.
Yeah, we went a little long. Let's wrap this up. Okay, people. Well, I don't know. Thanks for joining us. Have a good week. Try to stay warm. Um, I don't know.
Yeah, there you
Be good to
go.
one another.
Yeah.
Don't take it too serious.
No, no, don't take anything too serious. Life's too short, man. Enjoy it. Smile, laugh, and tell your friends about the Al from D-Town Chili442 Show. Please share the show, share the page, whatever you want to do. Just help us out. We're getting up there. We keep growing, and we appreciate it. We appreciate all you that check us out. We will catch you next week for show 147. That's Chili442. I'm Al from D-Town. We love you. Peace. Be good to one another.
Later.
And shut off on YouTube. YouTube. Peace out.